4 years ago, I started researching it. I got involved with a company called Narada, and they brought me into single families, which is how I met you. I went through the process with you of closing on, 9 different single families. And I realized very quickly that it's a lot of work closing on a single door. And I pivoted very quickly over to thinking, hey, or at least I was told, or I learned that closing on one door has the same, you have to put in the same amount of effort and the same amount of due diligence as closing on 100 doors, as an example, and I wanted to scale. So that's why I pivoted over to multifamily from singles, and that's it. I mean, that's
and you pivot into it, and because you're gonna have that thought process, man, going to multi, that's gotta be huge. So let me start over here, and you have to actually get your mind wrapped around the fact that, hey man, this is not that difficult.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do. You made it easier just by looking at the beginning product, and then you come to realize, wait, it's all the same thing. And that's what I realized when I get in the rooms with people and I get in discussion. I'm always thinking these big business discussions, they go into the boardroom, it's got to be some magical shit going on in there. It's just a bunch of dudes sitting around a freaking table.
Yeah,
that's really all it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm always fascinated about that spark, that moment, like, because it is a pivot, it's a decision, and it's not just a decision, it's a choice, which there's a distinction there. But when you go, I want to get out of the single door closing business and go into the multifamily business, at what point do you go, like, should I do 10? Should I do 20? Should I do, and then you read all the books and everyone says 100 is the magic number. Like, that's like the single development kind of magic number to have internal scalability. But like going from 1 to 100, like, how do you get that courage up and go from that?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So all the guys, Grant Cardone's and all these other guys out there talking about, you got to go big, go 200, go 300 doors. I know that starting, from a new, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have screw ups. So I figured, let me make a mistake at 30, 50, 60 doors. Let me fuck that up.
Market bear's a lot smaller.
Yeah, exactly. Versus, screwing it up on, 200 doors. So that's where I kind of got started. I ended up joining a mentorship program. And my first deal was a 96 unit apartment complex out of Lexington, Kentucky. Nice. My second deal was another 96 unit. And my third deal was a 108 unit deal and all three of them are in Lexington, Kentucky, in this little area called Cardinal Valley. And it's just a little sub-market inside of Lexington. And they've been great. And it's been a huge learning experience. And I've had a number of false starts, kind of going through this process.